Hello, lovely people. Welcome back to another book chat. Okay, so I'm going to see if this goes better than my last attempt, where I got to about the 10-minute mark and found that I was rambling about a lettuce. Um, so, yeah, that all started from talking about a lack of focus and concentration within the pandemic. So, that may have been a symptom. um, okay, so leaving aside the question of lettuce, talking books. I have not been reading very well. I am in a reading slump, I guess is the best way to describe it. It's not that I'm not reading, because I still am. My normal reading pattern these days, when I was a kid, and even when I was younger, I read voraciously. As in, I just read with all my spare time. These days, most of my reading is when I go to bed, I'll read for an hour or so, and maybe a bit on the weekends. I'm still doing it, but it's like I can't remember what I'm reading. It's the oddest thing. Um, I'll read the book, I'll go to sleep, I'll come back to it the next day, and I'll be like, what happened? And then you're reading something, you go, I don't remember who that character was. And then you look back, and the character was introduced the day before. My memory is just shot. Everything is shot. It's yeah. And then I thought, well, I might just be choosing the wrong books. That's always possible. But I read a Diana Wynne Jones book the other day, and I love Diana Wynne Jones. Her books are beautiful. I thoroughly enjoy them. They're just my sort of thing, fun middle grade adventures, lots of magic, lots of friendship. Um, and it was one in the Chrestomanci series, which I'd already read a couple of, so I knew I liked them. Same thing. So I fear the problem is not the books I'm choosing. I fear the problem is me at the moment. And I'm going to talk a little bit more about that in a moment. But in case you're here, just because you're interested in the books that I have managed to read and remember in the last month, then I have two, which is a really, really sad state of affairs, really. So the first one being Nine Goblins, which is actually a novella by T. Kingfisher. And you might remember from one of my previous videos, I read her Clock Tower Wars? Wow. Clock Tower Wars, I think it was. Duology. And they were fantastic. She's an excellent writer, lovely sense of humour, fantastic world building, really good stories. So thoroughly enjoyed those. Absolutely adored this. This is fantastic. It was Terry Pratchett-esque without feeling like it was trying to be. But it had that same beautiful little detail, and then just lovely observations on what it is to be human. And yeah, I thought it was fantastic. That was just awesome. Can't recommend that one enough. And honestly, I would dive back into more of her books, but I'm half scared that I'm going to have the same problem with them and not be able to focus. So I'm like, I might just save them until I know I can actually read and appreciate them. Because that's what it feels like at the moment, is I can't appreciate anything I read. And that's such a shame. It's such a shame. I'm really upset about it, actually. Which, worldwide pandemic. It is one of those things that it just feels like a symptom of where we are at the moment. I don't know how things are with you, where you are, whether you're in lockdown. In the UK, we've been in lockdown, third lockdown now for quite a while. And it just wears on. And, well, let me talk about the next book, then we'll come back to that one. So, next book is Before and After. Andrew Shanahan. This one stuck with me because it was interesting and different. Well written. Main character was fantastic. Really good self-deprecating sense of humour without being... You still had the sense of urgency and peril and danger, and that he was taking it seriously, but at the same time, done with humour. So basically, it's based around a 600-pound man who has been a shut-in for years, and he's about to be lifted out of his apartment window and taken to hospital to have a leg amputated. In the middle of all this, when he's strapped down in a stretcher, but they haven't lifted him out of the window yet, or actually they've removed the whole front wall of the apartment in order to get him out, and they haven't lifted him out yet, a zombie apocalypse breaks out. Really bad timing. And it is the story of his survival after that. And I thought it was really well done. There's one bit towards the beginning where you really had to suspend your disbelief, and I was like, oh, can I power through this? And I did, and I'm glad I did because it was a good story. And I would definitely read a sequel if there was a sequel. So yeah, that is an interesting one. What I liked about it is most books I tend to read about overweight people, it's either making fun of the fact or else it's transformational journey where they lose weight and life becomes better. Not a fan of either. This was just a survival story, and the fact that he was overweight helped him to survive, and that was it. There wasn't really anything else about it. And as we learn more about the main character, and more, his name's Ben, as we learn more about him, and how he came to become a shut-in and that sort of thing, and it is interesting. I thought it was quite good. I thought it was quite well done. So that's my 2 for the month. I have read a lot of others. I've had a lot of did not finish. I've had a lot where I was just kind of like, that was okay, that was all right. But I do think a lot of it is actually just where my head's at the moment. Reading is not. Reading is almost like a self-soothing activity to me. It's the escapism. It's getting into different heads and different worlds, and it's always been somewhere I can go when I don't want to be here. And I guess that's where it's gutting when it doesn't work. You really want to be somewhere else. But what I have been reading is quite a lot of articles, and I'm going to link to one below, which is about, I forgot what it's called now, so if I can find it again. But basically it's about how the pandemic wears you down. It's the burnout sort of stage of it, and how it doesn't matter that you can be doing quite well through it all. So maybe life hasn't, like for me, and I am very, very aware that I'm lucky, life has not changed a lot for me. And so you have the sense of, okay, yeah, I'm really lucky, but at the same time, you're just tired and things aren't working the way they were. So I've been reading quite a few articles about that. Some of them are quite interesting, and it's quite nice to be able to read something where you identify and you go, oh yeah, lack of focus. Wow, yes. Can't sleep, productivity's down, all these various things. And it is actually a recognized thing. This is what happens. We're living, all of us, in a state of stress constantly, of heightened stress for months and months. It's a year now and we're still going. And I think it's actually really important to recognize that. And I'm only just really starting to, because for me, it's what's forced it is that my writing is, which was also my escape. Those are my 2 things, my reading and my writing. And the reading's not working, and the writing's working, but wow, is it slow. I mean, wow. I don't think I've ever written so slowly in my life. And that's kind of a killer as well, having to accept that yeah, this is just not really doing it the way it used to. And I think that's something else that is really important to recognize. A while ago, a few years ago, I wrote a blog post called Can't Complain. And it's about how we always look at people who are in worse situations than us. And we go, well, they're suffering a lot more, so I really can't complain about what I'm going through. And yes, it's important to recognize that, because obviously so many people are just so much worse off right now. And a lot of us, things haven't changed that much, and we are lucky, and I know I am super lucky in that respect, but it doesn't mean that it's easy. And I think that's the thing, is we need to allow ourselves to feel that, to go, okay, yeah, yes, I'm lucky, but no, things aren't good, and no, I'm not okay. And I think that's a really big one for all of us, that we are allowed to not be okay, even if we are better off than other people. That it is okay to have bad days and to have off days, and to be just like, you know what, this really sucks, this is rubbish, and I am not happy. We're allowed to not be just, oh joy, here we are in the middle of a pandemic, but I'm okay, sort of thing. It's all right. You know, it is all right to just complain, to whinge, to say, no, okay, this is really bad right now and I'm not enjoying it. So, permission note. If you would like to have a whinge, you can do it in the blog. You can do it in the blog comments. You can do it on social media. You can message me if you would like to have a bit of a whinge, because yeah, messages are always open, and it is important. Sometimes it is really important not to put that sort of bright face on and go, yeah, no, I'm fine, I'm great, this is awesome. Yeah, all good. The sourdough's still coming out. Okay, so yes, I should put the article below so you can have a read of that if you're interested in pandemic burnout. Let me know what you've been reading this month. And I'm going to stop here because last time I kept going, and that was when I ended up talking about lettuce. Um, and the lettuce is really irrelevant. But you know what's about lack of focus? Yeah, I think that probably had a lot to do with it. Okay, so let me know how you're doing. If you're in that kind of no, I can't complain mode and you're just like a whinge, because actually, yeah, you can complain because complaining is allowed. You know, I'm not saying wallow in it. I'm certainly not saying that we shouldn't have sympathy for those who are a lot worse off, because bloody hell, this whole thing has been horrendous for so many people, and it's, yeah, we've got a long way to go yet. But it's also okay to have bad days for the rest of us as well. And yeah, if you've read anything really good that you think might kick me out of my slump, let me know. Otherwise, I shall go back to watching a lot of rubbish TV. I've really been enjoying sitcoms, which are not really my normal choice. I'll dabble in them occasionally, but I am finding them fantastic. I shall keep reading my articles. And the other thing that's keeping me going is discovering a lot of new music. So that has actually been really fun. I don't think I have spent so much time actually picking music to listen to since I was a teenager. So there we go. That's what's working for me at the moment. All right. So until next time, when hopefully I shall have more books to talk about, look after yourselves out there. Drop some notes in the comments or send me a message and let me know how you're doing. And yeah, stay safe. Look after yourselves, lovely people.